Fitzgerald. So, so welcome to the Lift, December 2nd. We are in the holiday season, which is exciting. Who wants to start us off with some good news? I've got some good news. Eric's here. Eric, I'm glad. Are you out of the hospital? Awesome. Glad to see you. Any other good news to share? Ryan, did you take yourself off mute? Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Everybody in the holiday spirit?
For sure.
All right. Hey, I wanted to let you guys know I've got some good news. Um, how many people in here have been using BrokerBot? Has anybody been using this? Russ, I know you've been using it. Hey, I had a challenging situation where I had to get photos on a commercial listing, and the space was being used, and there was a lot of noise and clutter. And I used BrokerBot to edit photos, and they came out really good. Use this program; it'll make your life easier. And I mean, these photos were very difficult, and so I just wanted to give out some good news to this program that we're using because it's been really helpful.
So it took out the clutter in a space so that you could just see the room.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
love it.
you could
Cool.
you could have blinds removed, blinds closed, doors shut, doors opened. It's pretty cool.
That's
Ryan,
awesome.
quick question. Do you have to then just say like picture decluttered by AI or whatever, or no? On the listing?
Nope,
No? Okay.
nope.
Hmm.
Very cool tip. Love it. I wanted to share something on BrokerBot. I've been sending you all prompts, and I sent one this morning, and I really want to encourage you to use it. You got it at like 6 a.m. And I know many of us struggle with putting together our GPS each year. And remember, GPS stands for goals, priorities, and strategies. And the prompt I sent you, and this in the tool has been coached around this, but it basically says, create a GPS for me for my business plan for the next 12 months. And the way this prompt that I sent you, it's in your inbox, is designed, is it's going to ask you questions like, how much money do you want to make? What are your expenses looking like? Are you working with buyers or sellers or both? What's your price point? And it will build out for you a KW approved 135 or GPS with some good strategies for lead gen, listings, and being profitable. So try it out today when you're playing with BrokerBot. If you have no idea what we're talking about, send Sarah or Marielle an email and ask them to make sure that you have the setup for the tool. Some announcements. Top of the Rockies holiday party is tomorrow at the AC Hotel in Frisco, 5 to 7. Mountain Properties, ours is on Thursday from 4 to 6 at the Rose in Edwards. There are team meetings next week. We are not doing the lift next week because team leaders, MCAs, productivity coaches, etc. We all have a meeting in Denver during this time, and we just didn't want to complicate things. KW's got a Tech the Halls virtual event that's free on December 11th. See our newsletters for sign up information there. Colorado's regional rally is on the 15th at 11. The 16th Mountain Luxury Collab Zoom at 1 p.m. And we are taking off for Christmas on the 24th through the 26th. Also, for next year and next month, next year, and coming months, remember the 9th of January, which really, like, from a working days perspective, is like in 2 weeks. I know it's not, but you know, you're taking off for the holidays. Sign up for Call to Play Win the Day with Jason Abrams. It's a great class. It's $49. It's in Denver, kwcoloradoevents.com to sign up. The region's doing a virtual tech event. More details coming soon on the 29th of January. Mark your calendars for that. And I had a conversation with one of you yesterday about leverage. And I see you on the screen. And if you are struggling with leverage in your business, hiring people for your business, even part-time people, if you're struggling with building a team, if you aspire to make more money and be more profitable, the Leverage Series with Wendy Papasan is in Denver, February 4th and 5th. We've been talking for a while about this website that we're building, and we're not ready to launch it, but I did want to spend a couple moments today and just show you where we are from a progress standpoint. There's typos in here and there's things that aren't right, but just so you know what we're working on. This is the general structure. We're building a learning center into it. The learning center is multi-purpose. It is going to include places where your clients can learn about buying homes in the mountains of Colorado. And that's really important for SEO and for large language models to find us, having content. Why should I buy in Vail versus Breckenridge? What are the top 10 things to know about owning a second home in a ski community? That's what the Learning Center's for. It's also going to be a place where we're going to teach agents how to sell real estate using things like the class we're doing today. Anyway, the back screen are just stock photos. We're going to have something custom put into there, but I think it's looking pretty. This is what our feature listing pages will look like. And yes, these all have the same address in different houses, but this is how it's going to look. We built a map, which I'm super excited about. That includes all the main places we work. And if somebody wants to work with Jeff and our folks up in Estes Park, they can click on that part of the map and they can go right to information about Estes Park, a feed with listings there. And similarly for Carrie and Brenda and those in Kremling, for those of us who are working in Steamboat Springs, we've got a live map with all of our areas. And I think people love this. It gives them like a sense of how we look from a geographic standpoint. We also will have the pretty picture version of the same thing. And I recognize Single Tree Road, that's their typo. That will get you to those same communities as well. Reviews, join the team, get in touch with us. All of you will be featured under here about Meet the Team. And that's why we've been doing photo shoots. And of course, you'll be able to find properties with this tab. This is a work in progress. We're excited about it. Family reunion, February 21 through 24. Keep in mind, we've got some really great speakers this year. Gary Vaynerchuk is a extremely sought after keynote speaker who's going to talk about tech and disruption and how to sell real estate in a new economy that is moving super fast. Jay Shetty is going to talk about your head and your heart and being calm and finding some space. Will Guidara is going to talk about unreasonable hospitality and how to serve your clients at the highest level. Will Guidara is part of the CEO Summit, which requires a Saturday ticket for $199 extra. Ryan Leake is going to headline the Social Media Con, which is all day Sunday and is included in the normal ticket price. If you have questions about family reunion, see your team leader, call me. A couple things I want you to know about what's happening in the market nationally. We're sending these slides to you after this, and I want to recommend that you put these slides on your phones because over the holidays, you're going to meet people. And what do people ask realtors when they see them at a Hanukkah party or a Christmas party? How's the market? I'm reading your lips. So how's the market? Well, homes for sale have increased in 2025. In fact, in October, we were at 1.1 million active listings. And if you look at that, that's a lot compared to where we've been. So inventory is up. That is a great thing for buyers. Homes are now selling at a more normal pace, 63 days on the market. By the way, these are all national stats. 63 days on the market in October, in 2025 October versus the other Octobers back to 2016. So things are a little more normal. Mortgage rates are trending down. The last date on this chart is October 30th, and November, it basically flatlined. Little up, little down, but mortgage rates are trending down. It is a great time to buy a house. Monthly mortgage payments are trending down. And that's really exciting because that means affordability is increasing. Home trends, of course, vary by local market. You can see Colorado right here. Prices have generally dropped in the state 3%. This is price cuts. Colorado has had 26 of our listings drop price in the month of October. The national average was 20.2. And I'm showing you these national pictures because you're going to meet people that have second homes elsewhere, maybe live elsewhere. And it's a great time to pick up referral business during the holidays. This one I love. Here's what's going to happen, we believe, in 2026. We believe home prices will increase at a rate of about 1.7%. That's taking an extraordinarily and, as usual, optimistic NAR number of 4%. They always have a ridiculously high number. And Wells Fargo, similarly, is often optimistic, but it's also taking MBA's always pessimistic look, and it's whittling it down and averaging it to 1.7%. This is a money slide, in my opinion. This is potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years based solely on increase of home equity. If you buy an average $400,000 house in 2025, in 2030, you'll have $61,381 more household wealth than you have today. And if you're following the news, you know that first-time home buyer average age is now what? Disgusting number.
40.
40. But by 45, you could have $61,000 more wealth than you have today. This is an encouragement to get into the game of owning real estate. Katie Briggs.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. I just want to share a couple of productivity tips as we get into the holiday season. So I just have 6 quick tips for you today. The first one is protect your money hours. So we've all heard about time blocking. You want to block a set amount of time every single day for lead generation and follow-up, even if it's just an hour, whatever you can manage with your schedule. Next one, batch and simplify. So group similar tasks together to avoid distractions and to get things done faster. So for example, as part of lead generation, you could do calls and Facebook posts. Next tip, momentum over perfection. We all have big goals. So you don't have to aim for perfect days. Just keep moving forward, one call, one note, one appointment at a time. And as a result, you'll build that momentum. We also want to set boundaries. That's so important. So let your clients and family know what your work time blocks are and what your off hours are. It's okay to set away messages on your phone, do not disturb, that kind of thing, so that you can protect yourself, your business, and your personal time. We also want to celebrate small wins. I think it's really important. I mean, I love acknowledgement myself. That's something that keeps me motivated. So I really like to acknowledge every appointment set and positive conversation, give myself a little pat on the back or share that win with someone and help, again, kind of keep that momentum going. Last one, stay connected. This is a perfect season to reach out to your sphere with a personal message or a holiday greeting. And I feel like people really remember who checked in with them and who who was thoughtful enough to send that Christmas card or holiday card. That's all I've got for you today. Hope you have a great day.
All right. Love it. Thank you, Katie. Katie is our productivity coach for the market centers. If you're looking to increase your productivity in 2026, you need to have a conversation with Katie, and she's going to put her contact info in the chat so that she can talk to you about the program. I want to recognize our November cappers in Summit, Ryan Doobie. Congratulations, Ryan. Top producers for November, individual agents in Summit. Lindsay Morrow at 4 million, Lindsay's best month ever. Great job, Lindsay. Carrie at 3.3, Dan at 2.7, Ryan at 1.7, Monica at 1 almost 4 million. Great job, top producers. And on the teams and groups side, Summit, J Lux Mountain Homes, 5.3 million. The Skinner team, 3.8. The Thompson Group, 3.5. Signature Home Team, Jeff and Company, 2.6. And the Barnhill Group, 1.7. Great job, Summit top producers. Vale Cappers, Cynthia and Mike, great job. And top producers individual for Vale in November, Ryan Richards at 12.2 million. Wow. Cynthia at 3 million, Brooke at almost 3 million, Leslie at 2.4, and Alex for 90. Great job. And teams and groups for Vale top producers, the Gold Team, 4.7 million, and Team Black Bear, 2.6. Great job all. All right. I'm excited that my friend Steve Epstein is here today to talk to us. If you've been to the Rocky Mountain Summit, Steve's been there many times for the luxury portion. He's a top real estate producer in Santa Barbara, California. And I'm excited, Steve, that you're here today. Steve, take it away.
Thank you, Russ. Hey, I've got a quick question for you. When somebody asks you how's the market doing, what would Phil Jones say?
What would Phil Jones say?
I think he might answer with a question, or one of his favorite responses to that is, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I love having all the stats and numbers, and I think it's great you're pushing that out. I would just caution, don't do the show up and throw up, but you have to have all those numbers queued up and ready to go, right?
That's right.
Hey, Russ, I want to take a quick second and acknowledge what a well-oiled machine you run in your region. I'm impressed on an ongoing basis with the Rocky Mountain Summit, the lift, all the stuff you do to pour into your region. And I'm wondering if you could come to my region and maybe do a little training to my regional folks. I'll set that up for you.
We're recording this, Steve.
No, I have a great region, but you really do pour into these people. I heard the Rocky Mountain Summit was epic this year, and of course you had Phil Jones, so how could it not be? All right, I'm going to figure out how to share the screen. I don't think I yet have that option.
I think you should.
It's not showing up on my little zoomy thing. Oh, here we go. It is now. So there you go. Let's do this screen and share that. And you should be looking at a map of California and a bunch of other gobbledygook. Is that showing up?
No, we're looking at finding your luxury business and luxury listing presentations.
Oh, that's it.
There's a map. I'm sorry, I missed it. Thank you.
So real quick, I'm Steve Epstein. I'm the regional luxury ambassador for Keller Williams. My region goes from the top of LA to the bottom of Monterey, if you know what that is, but it's basically the whole center of the state from that big black dot where it says Santa Barbara, almost to San Francisco, not quite. I've been in business since 1988. And I don't mention these numbers and stats by way of bragging, but I'm coming up on, I think, 2,700 closed transactions for about $2.5 billion. And I only say that to sort of explain where I've come from, not so much to go, hey, look at me. I don't care how many deals you've done if you're not doing them well. So the body count, I'm not sure, is the most important number. If you folks who do not know, Santa Barbara is 2 hours north of Los Angeles, and we hate it when people call us a suburb of Los Angeles. That'd be like calling Vail a suburb of Denver. I think you guys would probably have your heads explode. But that's where I am, right above Los Angeles. Since I've ripped off a ton of people for this presentation and a few publications, I thought I should give credit where credit's due. Obviously, if you guys don't know who Brady Sandall and Caroline Ho are, they do head up the luxury division. A couple of amazing folks. Do what you can to get into their orbit. Caroline teaches the 4 pillars of luxury. I've taken the class 2 or 3 times. I need to take it again. If you don't know Adam Dow, he pretty much owns New Hampshire. Of course, I've got Phil Jones, Tony Giordano in here. So let's talk about a luxury mindset. And by the way, I'm not going to tell you guys anything you don't already know. My hope is I say it in a way that resonates differently with you or better, but I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know. And everything in here is the basics. But if you're like me, you need to be reminded of the basics. And I do. I have to be reminded of everything. The repetition for me is how I get the muscle memory. I have band practice tonight, and we've got some new songs, and I've just been drilling them on the guitar because I need my silly old fingers to get the muscle memory. So let's talk about the luxury mindset. The modern luxury consumer, is really looking for a value experience. They want speed, they want trust, but they really want an emotional connection more than just prestige. And I'm going to talk a lot about be cautioning people around AI. Everything we go to over the last couple of years has been completely overrun with AI. I just was with Gary in Austin. All we talked about was AI. We were at the luxury symposium 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, whenever that was. All we talked about was AI. It's great. It's amazing. You have to lean into it. The amount of stuff they can do for you is mind-numbing. There's almost nothing it can't do for you other than sit across the table from other humans, which frankly, I would argue is the most important thing you need to be doing. So if AI frees up some time to allow you to have more personal human connections, that's great. If it's a way to avoid that, I would suggest that you might be doing that at your own peril. Our luxury clients are informed, often impatient. They expect immediate and seamless tech-enabled interactions. Again, don't lose high touch at the expense of high tech, rather. Emotion drives decisions. Storytelling. We're going to talk a lot about storytelling this morning, but that kind of confidence in your ability to tell your story and tell stories about other things that have a meaningful impact is critical. Storytelling is the ancient way that we passed on information in history before we had presses and the printed material, and now, of course, the interwebs. So get really comfortable with a variety of stories, including your own. That goes for your value proposition. That goes for what's happening in the market. That goes for whatever you need to do to connect with other humans to further your ability to help them. So consumers will choose agents who project calm, control, and credibility. Somehow, in spite of my personality, I've been able to adopt some of that. So you obviously are the brand, and you guys know that. I guarantee you, your clients are not with you because you're at Keller Williams. You're at Keller Williams because of what it does for you and ultimately for your clients. But your clients don't really know that. They're there for you. And so you really need to talk about your brand and your story. And I know we keep kind of regurgitating this conversation, but it's important. And your personal story is the big differentiator, right? Where have you come from? Where are you going? What do you believe in? How do you serve? High-end clients want to know why you. There's kind of a dominant ideology in our business that if you have a real estate license, you're just like every other real estate agent. And you guys know better than anybody, there are vast differences between agents and how they operate. Competency, communication style, pacing, mirroring, you name it. I could go on for hours about this, and I will spare you. But share your story through consistent video, visual identity, luxury presentation. I've gone to not just texting clients or emailing them, but sending them video texts as, hey, excited to meet with you today. After the appointment, thank you so much for taking time to meet with me. I'm looking forward to working with you. Or as Phil would say, what's next? I did that yesterday to somebody I had met with before the holidays. I just gave him the what's next text. So details. By the way, everything we're talking about today is for the entire part or entire your business in its entirety is what I'm trying to say. This isn't luxury specific. And if you treat every client with a luxury experience, that just amplifies. And by the way, my largest streams of business have come from some of my smallest streams of business. So keep that in mind. But luxury clients notice everything. So everything has to be great. Everything you produce has to be great. It has to look like luxury. It has to feel like luxury, and it has to make them feel special and important. It's not a price. It's a precision. Every message, every social post showing or follow-up should reflect intentionality and care. Luxury is an emotion you create in others. Pretty sure that's a Caroline quote. All right. We're going to keep talking about it. Technology and AI. It's a differentiator, not a threat. Use it to enhance communication, speed, market expertise. Chat, we know we all have the 12 lists of which language models work best for what. But adopt storytelling, use market trends, visuals to show insight, not just info. AI is great for content creation. It's epic. But please, 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 please interrogate it, because AI hallucinates. And if you don't carefully proof what you produce with AI, you could become very embarrassed with some serious misinformation. And I'll keep saying it, tech doesn't replace relationships, it amplifies it. So the leadership and mindset for those who are team leaders or running your own teams, leadership starts with how you show up. Russ is a great example. Every time I see him, he's showing up with the support of Kelly, who, if I could afford her, I would have already headhunted her away from you guys. Set the tone for your clients and brand through consistency and calmness. Great leaders inspire trust by being steady under pressure. Confidence equals competence plus consistency. So guys, video is non-negotiable. You've got to become video content creators. I'm sorry to say it. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with it. Great is the enemy of good. But then there was a guy this morning on an email for the luxury presence or whatever that is. And his talk is the high cost of good enough. So where's that balance, right? But please start creating video. I don't care what it's about. Even if it's just when you're out on caravan and you're at that amazing ski chalet in the background and it's a bluebird blue sky day and there's people flying down the run, shoot a little video, put it up. Have consistent images of you in the kind of properties you're either selling or you're hoping to sell, right? This is a little bit of the fake it till you make it sometimes. But that's the short form storytelling, behind the scenes, market insights, lifestyle. Both of us, all of us live in communities that have amazing lifestyles. Ski communities, beach communities, it's where our uber luxury clients want to be. Your online presence should feel like your luxury experience offline.
Hey, Steve, before you move on, can you share with us where you might post those videos? It's a question in the chat.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I think the elephant in the room is Instagram. And here's the thing. I think older high net worth individuals are not probably on Instagram unless they're in tech or something. But if you're the CEO of, I don't know what, you may not be on Instagram in your 60s. I think the demo, and I could be wrong, I may not be the best person to be talking about this, but I think the demo for Instagram is probably, young up to the 50s or 60s, but certainly Facebook, certainly Instagram, anywhere you can put it. We are on every platform we can be on. We had to finally step away from X. It was just can't really be associated with the racism and the hatred and all the stuff going on that platform. So I just said, look, I tapped out. I said, I can't do this anymore. It's just it's too crazy. Facebook's bad enough, or as I like to call it, face plant. I train and teach and coach a lot of agents, and a lot of them are younger. And I'll say something about Facebook, and their response is, yeah, our friends aren't on Facebook. And I said, yeah, but the people that you would like to be helping buy and sell luxury properties are all over Facebook. So I think you need to understand the demo you're trying to target and then meet them where they are. And I think if you ask chat, if I want to target high net worth individuals in this community, what's the best social platform? You might get some interesting answers. That's the kind of stuff I love AI for. Collaboration. Top agents share, support, and elevate one another. Maybe one of the most impressive things I noticed when I came to Keller Williams 14 years ago. I came from the blue team where we had that mentality of, I've got this and you don't. And stay away, the wizard's not home, don't look behind the drape. To, here's everything you need to know about me and my business. How can I help you? including this. I would have never taught this class or my luxury listing presentation at Coldwell Banker. I would have just laughed at them if they'd asked me to show them what I'm doing in great detail. The next topic about referrals and networking, if you're not going to Luxury Symposium, you're really missing out. It is, I think, the best company event. I'm not throwing any shade on the Rocky Mountain Summit, which I love, but for a KW event, I think it's a national event. I think it's the best. It's 400 people or so, plus or minus. You can meet half of them, literally meet half of them and have some sort of conversation. But those are the people that you want to be drilling down on. You know, people, if you went to a family reunion, there's a bunch of agents from, I don't know, Bakersfield or Fresno, they're probably not exchanging a lot of referrals with Vail. They might be, but, you know, New York City and Denver and, you know, Austin and the nicer parts of LA, their clients are probably hanging out in Vail. Just saying, or Telluride, or Aspen. So be intentional about that. Go to those events. Plan on meeting certain people in markets that you want to target before you get there. I got a referral basically the day I got back from Symposium. So it works. Energy and presence are everything. Clients mirror your tone, but you should also consider mirroring their pacing and their timing as well. Protect your mindset, your health, your business assets. Keep learning, evolving. Luxury isn't a price point. It's a state of excellence. All right. Here's a little promo for KW. By the way, Russ, how many agents on the call do we think are earned in, and how many are close to earning in? And
I don't have those numbers in front of me, but a lot are either in or earned in, or close to.
Perfect. And what's your luxury threshold in most of your markets?
It's some of the counties represented here are 1.2, some are 1.6. And I think one or two are like 2 million.
Yeah, gotcha. I would imagine the Aspens and Vales of the world might be there. You guys probably know this, but we sell more luxury real estate than any other company in the world. Now, it doesn't hurt that we have, depending on how you count it, 150 to 180 agents in 55 countries. So we kind of went to a knife fight with a bazooka on that one, but it's important to understand those numbers. So we've talked about this a little earlier, but have a story to tell, right? Have it queued up and be comfortable talking about it. Mixed feelings about this guy, but this is a great quote, a great picture of him. Luxury is not just watches and bracelets and villas and sailboats, although I like all that stuff. I don't know about bracelets, but luxury is money is what you'll talk to high net worth individuals, and what they'll tell you is that the money buys them freedom and time, right? That's what they're valuing. And the time is spent, laughing with friends, and those types of things. It's not just the affectations. It's important to understand the affectations. It's important to be able to talk about them with the people that have them, but that's not really the core of luxury. I think it's really more about human connection. All right. So what are high net worth individuals looking for? They want lifestyle. They want legacy. They want security. They want identity. By the way, we landed that helicopter in front of that house, and the owner of the property got out. We'd had a shot of his cowboy boots coming out. Later on, he was on his horse. And the helicopter almost hit the drone that took that picture, and we had to stop the helicopter pilot from attacking the drone pilot. I think we should all get together and write a real estate book of fun stories. So whether you're high net worth individuals or acquiring a primary residence or a legacy estate, the process of choosing you is going to be intentional. It's going to be multi-layered, and it's going to be trust-based. And it's going to start most likely before you even know it's started. So to that point, your reputation precedes the relationship, right? Those folks, we have a typo there. We need a little space between they observe, they notice. All right, got a little typo on that page. This is a freshen up version of this, and I told Russ I was doing this cold without having reviewed it because the final one came in the middle of the night. Before they select you, they're probably going to talk to their trusted peers, family, office advisors, estate managers, private wealth consultants. I've had agents in our office, they show a property to somebody and they're just treating them like they're anybody else and not really stepping up on the service. And then they find out they're the estate manager for some extremely high net worth individual, right? If you treat everybody with a luxury experience, you don't have to worry about it, right? And those people will notice that you're doing that and they'll go, hey, I work for some folks that have a lot of really nice properties. So if several people in any given social circle have worked with an agent, your name's going to come up. Don't turn down those invitations when your clients are like, hey, I'm having a cocktail party, I'm having a housewarming. I mean, if they're having a housewarming, offer to basically throw it for them. But they're going to look at a lot of things you've done, maybe things you sold off market if they can find them, what your pricing outcomes were, your sale price to list price ratio, integrity, reputation, alignment with standards of service. So who are these people that you need to get through or work with? Obviously, attorneys, wealth managers, private bankers, estate planners, peers with curated networks. I work with a lot of fiduciaries and trust officers. I have lunch with one next week. They're often representing high net worth individuals. And if you speak their language, they're very comfortable with you. So the other gatekeepers might be a chief of staff. We talked about attorneys, CPAs, wealth managers, business managers, agents, personal assistants, family office representatives. It's not just administrative, it's strategic. So they're going to observe you quietly from a distance most often, or their staff is. Do you speak the language of legacy and lifestyle? I'm going to say that again. Do you speak the language of legacy and lifestyle? Or are you obsessed with a transaction? Something we talked about a lot with Gary a few weeks ago in Austin was being relational and not transactional. And that doubled back on AI, because AI could, the more you implement AI and the more you use that to take yourself out of the intimate relationships with your clients, the personal relationships, intimate might be a bit much, but you know what I mean. The more you do that, the more you become transactional and not relational. And that's really important. It's kind of an ongoing theme right now. But the other thing is discretion and nuance, right? Discretion is the better part of valor, not just in real estate. So privacy protection. What would your past clients say is the most important thing about working with you? How do you tailor your process for someone who's used to making high stakes decisions quickly but expects discretion throughout? So these are all just mindset things to think about. And there's no right or wrong in any of this. It's just a matter of about being intentional about this. It's like Phil Jones will tell you, you need to know what the questions are you're going to ask before you're in the room needing to ask them, because that's not the time to think about how you need to have your conversations, right? You need to be comfortable with those before you get there. But your ability to listen deeply, respond with thoughtful clarity, and project quiet confidence, not bravado, is essential. So it certainly in my market, it's very understated. I'm guessing it is in yours as well. We're not in Miami Beach where it's important to be flashy and do all this stuff. I think a lot of resort towns like what you have in Colorado, what we have in California are understated and low key. Yes, there are the Beverly Hills of the world where people walk around in furs no matter what the time of the year is and, drive $1 million cars. But most of our markets aren't that. Trial engagement. So they might kind of test you. They might do a little something with you and see how you react. Please understand you're being interviewed all day, every day, no matter what you do and where you go. You're in the grocery store line. Somebody starts talking to you, you're being interviewed. If you're at the car wash, you're being interviewed. Every interaction you have is a job interview. So the question is, are you in alignment with their lifestyle and overall your brand and identity? So a lot of people now are looking for properties and agents that understand sustainability. Legacy has always been important. Community has always been important. Family, philanthropy. These folks will observe quietly, engage intentionally, and test discreetly. So the successful agent is never a salesperson. I don't tell people I sell real estate. I tell people I run A team of real estate agents, or I serve a team of real estate agents, is probably a better description. I think most of us in KW are what we would call servant leaders. Russ certainly is. But if people say, well, really, what does that mean? And I say, well, I also help people realize their real estate dreams and goals. Sounds a little cheesy. I might modify it a little bit depending on who I'm speaking with. But people are looking for a peer level advisor, a trusted confidant, a strategic planner, and a discreet facilitator. And they want that from their attorney. They want it from their CPA. They want it from their real estate agent. If you think about yourself in the same realm as their other trusted advisors, whether it's their wealth manager or their attorney or whatever it is. I mean, the wealth manager may be, running $100 million for them, but you might be selling a $10 million house for them. That's 10% of the money they've got with the other guy. That's not lunch money. All right, let's talk about influencers. And I'm going to talk about two kinds. And I kind of hate this word because I'm not talking about the Kardashians and Paris Hilton. But you need to become an influencer, and you need to identify who the other influencers are. So please keep in mind, if you're not in relationship with your clients, other people are. I assure you of this. If you're not talking to your clients, somebody else is. So consider learning how to identify and earn and maintain key influencer relationships. And then you need to think about being an influencer. Are you influencing the CPAs and attorneys and wealth managers in your community? Are you sending them content? Are you, sending them, a pie or a holiday gift or something to keep in touch with them and to, remind them that you're there to serve their clients when the need arises, but in a meaningful, low-key way. I feel bad. I can't remember who did this, but we sat down at symposium and some agent had put this little clear plastic bag on every place at the table. And it was, I think, a really cartoony oven mitt and some other stuff. And it was, Brady got up and said, yeah, tchotchkes aren't luxury, which I felt really bad for that agent to just try to, do a little promotion. But I get the point. So just think about that kind of stuff and what it says about you, and does it say luxury? If you're leading a team, think about putting systems around what team members do naturally in terms of them integrating into luxury communities. Define the goals, improve your ability to build yourself as a luxury agent. All right, influencer relationships. You must identify, earn, and maintain these relationships. This picture of me, I do a sushi booze cruise almost every year, probably closer to every other year. And it's just a little putt up and down the coast, but we have a band on the boat. And this guy happens to be a divorce attorney. So, if talk about a good person who's able to influence their clients specific to sending business your way. So if you're going to do an event, load it up with people like this, load it up with community influencers, which includes identifying yourself as an influencer. And who do you already know? Teachers, accountants, doctors, attorneys, teachers. People are like, why teachers? Do you think teachers know if people are considering a move, or, somebody else's family is growing and they're going to need a bigger house, or the kids are all graduating and they're going to be empty nesters, or, all of these people and more are influencers in the community. I have done a lot of business through my volunteerism. I don't join nonprofit boards to get business, but I certainly have gotten plenty of business from it. At one point I was on 12 boards. I'm down to 3 or 4 now, which was actually a goal. For-profit boards, I've never done that. Clubs, I guarantee you there are ski clubs, but where I am, I belong to a yacht club. I also belong to the university club. I don't join these places solely to find business. I've done it for social reasons, but we're in a social business. Social groups with shared interest. So that could be anything from a card game to a cycling club to a ski club to a hiking group. And by the way, it's really easy to start these groups as well. You can go on Facebook and start the, Vail Hikes group and set up a, weekly hike when the weather's appropriate for hiking. Your peers. We overlook our peers, non-competing agents, retired real estate agents, or agents that are about to retire. I can't see hands, but I would say if I was in the room, raise your hand if you are farming agents that are close to retirement. I am. Get in relationship with them, especially ones that sort of align with you and your how you do business and the quality of your business. And let them know that as they, decide to phase out of the business or just slow down, you're happy to carry their water and do some of the heavy lifting. So and agents with similar specialties to you, whether that's luxury or foreclosure or serving military families, or real estate planner. The beautiful thing about KW is we have 1 million different communities that allow you to network with agents with similar specialties. So how do you earn these relationships? You've got to meet these folks where they are. You got to do what's important to them. You have to add value to their lives and what's important to them. Get to know them, seek their expert advice. The best way to have somebody ask you your expert advice is to ask them first. But you got to be authentic. If you're not, this won't work well. This has to be real. If you're not at any level interested in boating, don't join a yacht club. If you're not interested in cycling, don't join a cycle club. People will quickly figure out that you're just there to take up space. Please understand your value proposition. Why should I pick you over somebody else? Have that queued up, have it succinct. That is a 1 to 2 floor elevator speech. That's not a 15 floor elevator speech. Same thing with the real estate market. But what makes you different from everybody else? And put some real time into that. Holidays is probably a good time to really ruminate on that. All right, luxury. Don't be that person. Try to avoid being the pushy realtor. Many people are leery of agents that are just dogging them all the time. Find ways to randomly engage folks and inquire as to what they do. I love making people ask me what I do. I don't ever volunteer it. Mention something that will make them ask you. Find ways to make them ask you what you do. So I've got a whole section there on this part of the conversation. Look, it takes a certain amount of time to build up any real estate business or practice. Why not focus on luxury? Entirely focus on luxury? That's your choice. I don't. My team takes virtually all price points. Although you can spend over $1 million on a double wide here, is just ridiculous as that sounds. But if you're going to build a practice, why not focus on a luxury practice? It takes about the same amount of effort to build the practice. Should you only concentrate on luxury? That's up to you. We don't, but that's a choice. By the way, these are pictures of an actual listing. And again, I would tell you, actually, this is a Colorado guy. This house belongs to a guy named Richard Wax. I'm guessing some of you guys have been through properties he's done in Colorado. But everything has to look this good or better. And these look okay. They're not epic, but tells the story. All right. Many of our luxury clients can and will most likely have multiple homes around the world, and they are no way married to your area of coverage or your service area, unless, for instance, they have some sort of obligations in the area, whether it's employment, family, schools. In our case, proximity to some specialized medical facilities. I learned a very interesting lesson. I had a client fly from Alaska in their private jet. We were on a showing. This should have taken an hour. Half an hour into the showing, their Florida real estate agent called and said, I've got a property here. You've got to get here right now and see it. And he called the airport and said, wheels up in 20 minutes, and walked off of the showing, and I never saw the guy again. So it turns out when you have a jet and you live in Anchorage, you can buy in Hawaii, you can buy in Florida, and you can buy anywhere in the United States, else other places you want to go. So what is luxury? Is it merely having a great deal of money? Is it upscale cars, clothing, jewelry, watches, planes? Is it a mindset? It's funny. I don't know who put this watch in here, but I was doing this presentation in Los Angeles, and I pointed up at the board to point at something, and I realized I was wearing that watch. So I guess it turned into a vision board for me. I don't know. So think luxury. How do you get your luxury education? If you're not into luxury homes or cars or boats or planes, I don't know why that Audible logo was supposed to be pulled out of there. I don't know why Phil Jones is stuck in there. But you can learn about luxury lifestyles through Facebook groups, the Rob Report, Architectural Digest. There's a thing called Flipboard. It's a digital magazine on your iPad. The key thing here is you don't need to be an expert in all the luxury accoutrement, but it'd be good if somebody rolled up with an amazing handbag that you at least understood it's not pronounced Hermes. Do you need to own all these things? Of course not. If somebody pulls up in $1 million car to meet you, I think it's appropriate to probably go out and go, wow, that's a stunning car, and at least appreciate it. They worked hard to spend $1 million on the car. So what do our luxury clients want and need? Do they demand special attention or special treatment? I think every client warrants that. And I think every client should be treated as if they're a high net worth client, just because that's how we should treat people. The thing to understand about high net worth individuals is most of the time they're high functioning individuals, but may not possess real estate acumen. Physicians are notoriously not great business people, for instance. They may have made a lot of money in their medical specialty, but most of them tend to not be real estate experts. And it's good for us because if they knew what they're doing, they wouldn't need us. But keep in mind that either way, that these folks who have been successful at whatever it is they do have afforded them the opportunity to even think about high-end real estate, except for the odd trust funder that just doesn't know anything and a bunch of money fell in their lap. And you probably have as much of that as we do in our market. So do your research. Make sure you know everything you can about these people. Years ago, I had a guy in my car from St. Louis, and he was looking at $10 to $15 million properties. He was staying at the San Ysidro Ranch, which is a very bougie, very expensive hotel. And at one point on a coffee break, I said, what got you into the dance wear business? Because he owned a factory that made tutus and tap shoes and, leotards and everything for dance schools and whatever. And he looked at his girlfriend and looked back at me and she goes, I didn't tell him. And he said, how'd you know that? And I said, do you really think I'd be putting it in my car and driving around if I hadn't done my homework? I mean, they expect you to do it. I use Ben Verified, Facebook, LinkedIn, and just Google for the most part. Ben Verified is just a background check service. We now have Forewarn too, but it's not as informative on some stuff as Ben Verified. Should we fawn over famous people? No. Don't ever ask for an autograph. Do not ask to be photographed with your clients. They get enough of that elsewhere. I mean, if somebody says, hey, can we get a picture and you're in the picture, great. But don't set that up. Just don't. It's fine to appreciate their work. It's fine if you have, Dean Auto sold a house to Carlos Santana. I happen to be a fan of Santana. I've worked with him over the years when I was in the entertainment business. I'd be like, hey, man, love your work. Always have. Thank you. But that would be the extent of it. All right. So how do you find your luxury business? Here's the obvious. Join a team that's luxury dominant. Farm luxury markets, nonprofit boards, faith-based organizations. Become an influencer. Identify influencers. But I don't have any sales or stats in the luxury farm I want to break into. You got to fake it till you make it. When I started, my listing presentation didn't say, I've done this or this is what I'm going to do. It was all we. And if somebody said, well, what's we? And I'd say, well, the other folks in my office, we work collaboratively. We sold that, we being the office. You can't lie about it, but you let people believe that, that sale had something to do with you when in fact it was just your office. But you've got to fake it till you make it a little bit. You could offer to hold homes open for other agents in luxury markets. You could offer to circle prospect those. Virtually nobody on my team bothers to circle prospect. The mentees in my mentor program usually circle prospect our listings. The less obvious stuff is the neighborhood coffee shops, upscale restaurants, bars, hotels, events, gyms. Look, if you're going to go grab a drink somewhere and just have a quiet moment and you have a choice of where to go, why not go to a higher end place, right? If you're going to grab a coffee and there's a choice between Starbucks and some cute little village in your market that has a really nice, local coffee place, why not go to the nicer place? Why go 10 minutes out of your way and be seen and hang out and start conversations with people there, right? All of this gets back to intentionality. Same thing for golf clubs, tennis clubs, yacht clubs, ski clubs, sailing, boating, private aviation, whatever it is. These are all the things, food and wine groups. These are all the things that high net worth individuals enjoy doing. And if you enjoy any of these, get intentional about getting involved. But if you hate wine, I wouldn't join a wine group. All right, lifestyle. Can't afford to purchase a high-end toy, but you want one? Fractional ownership. I'm a partner in a 41-foot sailboat. with another Colorado guy named George Ryder. Some of you guys are probably familiar with Ryder Homes. Built a few around Denver and Ryder Square in Denver. But you also could show up in California. You could show up at a yacht club and go, look, I just want to crew for somebody and get on a boat and meet people. I've done a lot of nonprofit and community work, still do. I just started the Santa Barbara Reading Coalition recently, so that's my new pet project. This gets a little touchier. California is a very blue state, a little less controversial, but I would suggest you consider donating to and knowing your local politicians. Most of the time, it'll be beneficial. Not always, but most of the time. And become a resource for the local news. I don't know if you know this, but if you call your local news, that's me on the bottom left doing something with the local news. And bottom right is my U.S. congressman, by the way. But you can call the news and say, hey, you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but interest rates are going down, or there's new rules around in California now, buildings with upper level balconies have this mandatory inspection, and whatever it is. They're always looking for content. They'll usually come to you. But our local KEYT Channel 3 ABC affiliate knows they can count on me on short notice to come out and do a story about whatever, insurance rates, whatever it is. I think I know the answer in Colorado, but I would ask, how much does your car and your attire matter? And it does. Obviously, if you show up in Colorado with a surfboard and a suit on your cell phone, you're going to look pretty silly. But I would say it does matter, and it should be appropriate for your region. What does your car say about you? Big argument, like what your car needs to be. Do you need to have a Range Rover to sell property in Vail? Probably not. Would it hurt? Probably not. But, think about what all these things say about you, because it's all part of the package. If I'm going out to wine country to look at a big, 50-acre ranch, I'm going to show up in my Chevy truck with jeans and boots and my border collie in the back. But I'm not showing up in Montecito in that truck. I'm going to be in my BMW, right? I'm going to be a little bit of a chameleon. And by the way, don't take pictures of yourself posing next to your car, which doesn't seem like a Colorado thing. Now, having said that, there I am posing next to a car. In my defense, I just bought that cute little Falcon and got that picture taken. Your branding, every piece of collateral must say luxury, always, all the time. Cards, brochures, everything, print media, online, social media. And please, always professional photography. I finally got my office to pass a policy that we're not putting listings up with iPhone pictures. We're just not, at any price point. We're not doing it. If you find yourself at a listing shooting your own pictures with an iPhone, I would suggest you reevaluate that. So anyway, I in general think understated is better than not. But I do post lifestyle stuff. I got a picture of myself sailing there with my daughter. The bottom right picture there, if you can see it, is my now 94-year-old father at the Concours Car Show, where he sat on, in, or touched every car. It was crazy. And this is me in Vail at the bottom there. So enjoying your fair region. Be generous with your clients. We just gave away $5,000 worth of pies, and there we are with our U.S. congressman again, getting his pie. So be generous. And I have a lender who, if you mention something to her, you will find some mysterious box coming to your office, your house. I mentioned to her that I don't really eat sugar or candy much, but if I ever am near a gas station, I usually buy a little pack of peanut M&Ms, because in my mind, that's health food because there's peanuts. She sends me this huge box of individually, like Halloween, 6 little M&Ms to a package kind of thing. I had no idea who sent it to me for weeks. She remembered, she wrote it down, she did something. It was targeted. It was special. It made me feel special. It probably cost her more to ship the M&Ms than she paid for them. I'm still telling the story, so that tells you something. We talked about mirroring. Always mirror your clients. Pause. If they're high energy, fast talkers, jump in. If they're slow, methodical folks, take a beat to think of before responding. Do that with them. And it's not easy. If you're like me and you want to just get through it, it's hard to force yourself to slow down. Think about this mindset. You always want to appear as if and act as if you want their business, but you never want to appear as if you need their business. And the reason we have a picture of an alley cat here is, if a cat's meowing around your house and you open a can of tuna, that's your cat. One can of tuna is all you need for cat ownership. And that cat will never leave. And that's how people feel about real estate agents. If they, they're needy, that they won't go away. Please constantly be aware of your grammar and syntax. Most of your high net worth individual clients will be highly educated, not always, but a lot of them will be. You want to make sure that if they're not highly educated, that you don't appear to be talking down to them. But that goes to the mirroring, right? But be polished, be friendly, be approachable, but never eager or desperate. And you have to be a chameleon. We talked about that. All right, here are the 3 levels of KW Luxury. Luxury Pro members. It's a great group. They don't give me anything for promoting it, but talk about a really good targeted group of people to exchange referrals with. So the main thing I love about being a Luxury Pro member is having quick access to all the other Luxury Pro members. It's really easy if you forget to say, hey, who do we have in Crested Butte? Who do we have in Telluride? Who do we have in St. Louis? Although I'm sure Russ could tell you. So this talks about the different values of the different levels between earned into agents and Luxury Pro. This QR code takes you to a luxury page I have that has some additional resources. I tore through that really quickly, but I was trying to get through it in half an hour, which I didn't do. But I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me.
Steve, that was really great. How can we reach out to you if we need to follow up with a question or send you a referral? Well,
funny you should ask, Russ. On this page, in addition to that QR code, which takes you to a dedicated luxury page that I set up, I was the guinea pig for individual pages for luxury ambassadors. But my phone number is right there. I am Steve at the Epstein Partners. We handle the entire south coast of Santa Barbara County, and then we go up into wine country, up over the hill into San Ynez, Los Olivos. I'm going to stop the share, but I think most people have had a chance to look at that by now. I've got time if anybody has questions, but I want to be cognizant of your time as well.
We've actually got meetings starting in both offices in just a minute. So I'm going to, I put your email in there and your phone number. They can email you a question if that's okay.
I'd be honored.
All right. Awesome. Hey, thank you all for being here today. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up. Next week, no no meeting because of a regional thing we're doing. And then we're going to have an all-star panel of Top of the Rockies and Mountain Properties agents the following week, and that will close us out for the year. We'll take a couple weeks off for Hanukkah and Christmas. Thank you again, Steve. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.